Hi, my name is Holly. Also Injector _ Holly on Instagram. And welcome to my channel. That feels so weird to say. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I got into aesthetics. I know sometimes it can feel like it's a little hush hush, and it's hard to know how to get your foot in the door. So I'm hoping this can kind of be like a pay it forward, because I want to shout out Nurse Janet G. She has some amazing content here on YouTube, and that's how I learned about aesthetics and kind of what helped me to be able to get my foot in the door. And so I want to pay it forward by making my own video talking about how I kind of applied some of her tips and some other things that I thought of that might help to get me to where I'm at now, which is an aesthetic nurse injector. So let me back up a little bit to before I even became a nurse. So before I became a nurse, I went to cosmetology school, and in cosmetology school, learned how to do hair, a little bit of nails, stuff like that. When I graduated, I did hair for a little bit, and it wasn't for me. It's not what I wanted to do. But then I had my son, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay at home with him. I didn't really like doing hair anyway. I'll figure it out when he gets a little older. So when he turned, let me think, I guess he was about 3, I decided, okay, I am going to go back to school. And it had always been in the back of my mind that I wanted to be a nurse. I have so many nurses in my family. So many people in my family are nurses. And so, and I've seen the life that they've been able to create and the trips they've been able to go on, and the work-life balance that some of them have. And so I always kind of attributed that to kind of a successful life as a kid. So I was like, I'm gonna go to nursing school, and so that's what I did. And while I was doing my prerequisites and going through nursing school, I worked as a lash stylist, applying individual eyelash extensions. So my cosmetology license really did come in handy, because I was able to make good money, do something that I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed it a lot, and it gave me flexibility. I could schedule my clients around my nursing school schedule, and so that was really helpful. And also it gave me kind of a foundation for the beauty industry, handling clients, going through a consultation, talking about aftercare, all of those things that I would do as a lash technician, I knew were beneficial to me. I just didn't know how beneficial and how that would come into play years later. So did lashes through nursing school, graduated nursing school. When I graduated nursing school, I was pregnant again, and at that time I was about 6 months pregnant. I stepped away from doing lashes to take my first nursing job. My first nursing job, I worked on the floor in a surgery center where I would recover patients who had just had spinal surgery. They also had a little freestanding ER, and I would do that 1 day a week, and then I would do the floor inpatient recovery type nurse the other 2 days. And I hated it. It was horrible. Oh, I did not like it at all. I don't know if it was like the role that I was in or that I was big and pregnant. I don't know. Maybe it was a combination of both. I don't know, but I did not like it. And at that point I had decided like, nursing is not for me. Like, I don't like this. This is not what I thought it was gonna be. Like, ooh, like, I don't want to do this. So when I had my daughter, I decided, I'm not going back. I'm just gonna stay at home with her till I figure out what I want to do, and because I know that is not it. So I stayed at home with her for 2 years, and when she was about 2 years old, I was like, okay, I am ready to go back to work. I know I didn't like that, but there has to be something else that I can do that would help me to get out of the house, use my nursing skills, feel like an adult, have some adult conversations, and care for patients, and that would allow me to be someone other than mom. So I started looking for something, but at that point I was not ready to leave her on a full-time basis. She was 2 years old. I had been at home with her. We stayed home obviously through COVID happened, and I was not ready to leave her for an extended period of time. I wanted something that was, flexible, where I wouldn't be like in a building all day, to where I couldn't come to her if I needed to go to her. So I decided I was going to do hospice nursing. I became a hospice nurse, and I loved it. It gave me the flexibility that I was looking for, allowed me to still have that like work-life balance. I was only doing it 3 days a week, but it was fulfilling. Like, I loved caring for my patients and my patients' family, and I was able, to feel like I was contributing something, but I wasn't not giving my daughter attention, or feeling guilty. You know how it is as a parent. So that worked really well. But the whole time I was doing hospice, I felt like something was missing. And it was hard because I loved hospice, but I felt like this pull to the beauty industry. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I've always loved makeup and hair, and love doing lashes, and like, I truly enjoy that kind of stuff. But I knew that I wasn't gonna like go back to doing lashes, or do something like that when I had this degree that I had worked so hard for. So I was like, I need to find something. And about that same time, I went and got lip filler for the first time. And while I was there, the nurse that did my lip filler, she was kind of telling me about how she ended up in aesthetics, and how much she loved her job. And I was like, this is something, I think I would really enjoy. And so I went home and I started researching. I am the type of person, when I get an idea about something, I am going to become obsessive about it, and I'm gonna research it until I know everything there possibly is to know about it. So that's what I did. And I soon came to find out there wasn't a lot of information out there. Like I said, so thankful for Nurse Janet G, because that's where the bulk of my knowledge came from on how to get into aesthetics and what it was like working in aesthetics, and where to start. And so I watched her videos, read a lot, followed a bunch of people on Instagram, and saw that there were like classes you could take, like weekend or day classes, but they were thousands of dollars. And let me just kind of sidebar here. We own a classic hot rod shop, my husband and I, and my husband has done so well with that, and has really built this wonderful business from the ground up, and it's his passion. He loves it. So it's always been inspiring to see him, not only doing something that he loves, but like being successful at it. He really turned his passion into like an avenue to make money. And so we have that like going on. And when I found out about these courses and stuff being, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for a day or two course, and that doesn't mean you get a job. That's just like, training on Botox, maybe some lip filler, Dysport, maybe, just like foundational stuff, just so you have a little bit of knowledge going into aesthetics, but no promise of a job. So at that point, when I found out that there were these trainings and you could invest in them, and at that point I knew that was not something I was going to bring to my husband at that point, because what was I supposed to say? Like, hey, here's something that I've been researching for like 2 days, and by the way, it's gonna cost $6,000. So yeah, let's do that. I wasn't gonna do that. It did not at that point, in how much I knew about the industry, it did make sense to me. So I was gonna table that. I'm gonna find another way to get into aesthetics besides doing those hands-on trainings. So I was like, I'm gonna find a job and then see about doing a training. So I started making my resume. I also took a headshot that I had done like when I had graduated nursing school. So I had my resume and my headshot, and I went on like Indeed, Glassdoor, things like that, looking for potential employers for aesthetic nursing, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing, like literally not one job posting within like an hour of where I was looking to work. So I was gotta do something else. So I made a list of all of the med spas, plastic surgeon's office, anywhere in the area that I was wanting to work that had aesthetic nurse injectors. I made a list of those places. So I took my list, and one day I got up really early, took my resume, all my headshots, had them all nicely organized, and I went to every one of the places on my list and introduced myself. Most of the places I just left it with the receptionist. And that was that. I did that. After that day of going to all of those places and just like kind of showing up, cold calling, that type of thing, I got an interview, but what happened with the interview, they were kind of looking for, it was like a wellness / aesthetic clinic, and they were kind of looking for a clinic nurse, and they weren't interested in delegating any of the injectables. So I'm glad that they were upfront with me about that. And I was also honest with them. I wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, that works for me, because that didn't work for me. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted to be an injector, and I knew that was my goal, so I was going to stick to my goal, but I knew that I needed to. Sorry, my youngest came in, and she needed something. So back to what I was saying. I was upfront with them. I told them, I'm sorry, but that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm really looking to inject and stay the course. You have a goal, so go towards that. So then I went to those places. I got a call from another place. But it didn't seem very organized. So I was like, that's probably not a good fit either. Because I wasn't desperate for a job. I was still working hospice. I wanted this. I saw my husband build his business and the career that he has, and I knew that I wanted a career too. I knew it didn't need to be the perfect job, but it needed to be something where I could see myself at long term, because I didn't want to just take the knowledge and be like, bye, I wanted a career, and I know that I'm not perfect, and every employer is not perfect, but I wanted it to be the right fit for both of us. So anyway, so I did that. Wasn't really right fit. So then I did a little shadow day at a plastic surgeon's office. They were not looking to hire anyone, but I was fortunate enough to be able to go, and follow an injector for a day, and kind of see what it was like behind the scenes, which was so amazing. I was so excited about that. So fortunate and grateful for the opportunity. And so that made me just want to do it so much more. And at the time, they were actually hiring for a surgical nurse. And while I, really, really loved everyone there, like I said, my goal was to be an injector, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I was waiting for, another call, and in the meantime, I was praying a lot about it. My faith is very important to me, and I wanted to be at a place where God wanted me to be. I was constantly praying that God would open the doors that need to be open, close the doors that need to be closed, and to give me discernment to know the difference. And I wanted to be at a place where I could feel, that those people loved Jesus. And that it wasn't a place where I felt like my God wasn't welcome. And so I really wanted God's hand in wherever I was going to end up. So that was like probably the number one criteria when I was looking for a job. So anyway, I decided after not really finding the right fit, and then just in the process of waiting to hear back, I was like, I'm gonna look into going to a class, because at that point I was kind of done doing the job search. I had handed in all my resumes, at that point that was the next avenue to pursue. So I had a friend who had done a class, and it just so happened that the injector who did my lip filler that day was trained by this person as well. And so I was like, this training is the one that I'm interested in. And for anybody wanting to know, I'll put a link in the description, but it was Rebecca Grace from Esteem Aesthetics. So that's the class that I was looking into. So there were two options with the class, which if you reach out to her, she'll talk to you about. But there was like where you could pay like a larger sum, or you could, and she would provide models for you, or there was an option where you could pay less, but you were responsible for booking your models and having them pay like a discounted price for their services. So when I brought it to my husband saying, like, hey, I haven't, found a job in aesthetics, I think the next move is to do one of these training programs that I, in my head, had swore off in the beginning. I was like, I'm not doing that, investing that kind of money without, a set job at the end of it. But at that point, I was like, this is something that I'm passionate about. I feel like it's right. So I'm gonna talk to my husband about it and see, what he thinks, because I really trust him, like, with everything, but financial decisions, I feel like, he has a good head on his shoulder. He's not an emotional spender. He thinks about things and is responsible with money. So I was like, I'm gonna talk to him about it. So I was like, hey, look, this is something I really want to do. I can see myself doing this long term. I want to do this class. It's a weekend class. And it's going to require me to travel. And here are the two options, as far as paying for it. And he told me, we can pay for it. We can do it, but you should book your own models and have them pay the discounted portion to offset some of the cost. He said because, which he had a point, but he was like, if you can't secure, I believe it was 7 models, if you can't secure 7 models at a discounted price, how do you expect to be successful in a career when they're going to have to pay full price? He was like, so I think it'd be best if you secure the models, and then we'll cover the rest of the price of the course. So that's what I did. I worked with my trainer. She was so helpful in helping me secure my models and, you know, do the training. Loved the training. It was wonderful. But let's back up. Like a week or two before my training, I get a call, and it's from a plastic surgeon's office, and the lady told me that the office manager, that they had my resume, and they wanted to set up an interview if I was still looking, that the doctor had been out of town, but he was back now, and they are looking to hire an injector. So I was thrilled. I was like, I really hope this is it. I hope this is the right fit. But also I was like, oh my gosh, I just invested all this money. I'm about to take this class in a week or two. It would have been nice if I could have got this job before. But also, like, the training I got with Rebecca, priceless. I'd pay it 10 times over. But I was like, yeah, I'll come in for an interview. So I did the interview. They had me come back for a shadow day. And another thing that I thought was so crazy, before I came back for the shadow day, she was like, you want to know something? The office manager, she was like, one of our employees here had gone to another med spa in the area, and they gave her your resume. I guess they were not like looking to hire somebody. So they gave her your resume, and she came to work and gave it to me. And the office manager said that she was like, did you take this off of my desk? Like, I called her, and she was like, no, when I went to this med spa, they had this resume, and they gave it to me, which is a little strange, you know, like, why did they give my resume away? But I guess they just, we're not looking to hire anyone. And in fact, they told her, like, we really liked her, you should hire her. We're not looking to hire anybody. But sorry, again, rookie mistake. My camera died in the middle of filming, so charging, and we're back. So what was I saying? Okay, so they gave her my resume. She brought it to her boss. Her boss was like, did you take this off my desk? So anyway, she relayed it to me, like, now she has 2 copies of my resume. I am so big on God showing up for me in big ways, and revealing things to me, especially when I'm praying about them. And I just felt like this was, like, not only did she call me with the resume that she had, another employee had the resume and brought it to her as well, from an outside source. And at this time, this was like a month almost after I had dropped all those, brought the resumes out. And so I don't know, I just felt like God had his hand in this. So also, before I went to the interview, like, I researched the company, and I wanted to know about their business, not only out of respect to them, like, like, hey, I'm interested in learning about what you've built, but also, like, was it going to be a good fit for me? So I got on their website, researched kind of about them, and I found out that their 10% of their facial, like, services, the proceeds went to Agape in Action, which is like a Christian missionary program. And so that was so special to me. And then also, they were very involved in charity, and giving back to the community and those in need. And that, I don't know, it just made my heart feel just warm is the best way to describe it. And so then when I went into the interview in the shadow day and meeting everyone, I could just tell how genuine they were. They were just kind and welcoming, and I just felt like at home there. It was so wonderful. It wasn't like the other places that I had talked to about possibly working, and I really felt like this was God, this opportunity opening up. So I told them in a week or so I was doing my training, and they were like, we're glad to have you. I got the job. So I did my training, traveled for that, did the training, came back first thing Monday morning. I started, so my training was was it a Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday? Anyway, it was over the weekend, and I think it was Friday and Saturday. Came back, and I started Monday morning at the job that I'm at now as an injector, and I couldn't be happier. It has really been wonderful. Like I've been able to merge like my love for the beauty industry and my degree that I worked so hard for, and they've come together, and in a place that I know loves God and loves his people. And I'm just thankful. I'm super thankful, and I wanted to make this video because I know that if I can do it, you can do it. If you desire something and you put in the work, like you can achieve it. There's nothing that you can't do if you work hard and put your heart and soul into it, and especially with God on your side, there's nothing that you can't accomplish. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I really hope that sharing my journey as far as how I got into aesthetics will be encouraging to you. And I plan to make more videos, and some things I want to cover is like exactly how like things I put on my resume, things in my interview, things about my training. I want to go into detail about those in other videos, but I wanted to kind of give you like an overview of what my path looked like, to get to becoming an aesthetic nurse injector. And so if you have any questions or want any more information, you can put a comment below, or follow me on Instagram. It's Injector_Holly, and you can see my work there, see where I'm at, maybe even come in person, and we can work up a treatment plan. So yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, don't feel shy, reach out. And also Nurse Janet G, watch her videos, so helpful. If you're looking for a training, I highly recommend Esteem Aesthetics. Rebecca Grace, you can find her on Instagram as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.